I am. I indirecto. Hi there. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Join. I think we had a little bit of a problem before. I was talking alone, but I was not live. So let me present the program again. Hello and welcome to Into the Rabbit Hole, the live stream where we look into the abyss and we jump head first in. I'm Ari Maria. I'm a neurodivergent coach or a productivity coach that specializes in neurodivergent folk. And today I wanted to look into the abyss about overdiagnosing ADHD or autism. Is a little bit similar to what we did last time. We're just going to keep looking into some articles or research and check if our bias is correct. Today I'm feeling a little bit so I might not be as high energy as the last one, but I'm going to still be able to answer any questions that you have in the chat and also research this information truly. Also, I've heard you before that you said that you would like to have a notepad or some place where the information that we were learning was available, and I got you. I just created a Notion where are going to just jot down the papers that we're researching and the conclusions that we're getting, so it's not as crazy. Let me check. Something is happening. Weird. I'm just checking in because the live stream just said that the latency was a little bit bad. Mm, the audio sounds a bit weird sometimes. Weird in what way? I don't know. I think something that I'm doing for some reason, this thing is not liking that I'm doing it. And I'm not sure. I need to get that better. But for today, what we got better was the notes. That we're going to have notes for this chat. Next time, I'm going to figure out if we have a better system of transmission, because this error already happened before, that the emission rate is lower than the recommended emission rate. I'm not sure how to fix that. If you know how to fix it, please let me know. But thank you for letting me know that the audio is a little bit weird. Good. Maybe I'm going away from the mic. The microphone is like here. Let me just put it in on closer to me and let's see if that helps. Does it help? I hope it helps. It is weird. Like I'm just learning to live stream and it's honestly very very weird. Anyways, let's jump into doing some research. Let's see. Thank you. Better. Yes. I'm happy to hear that. You can hear me a little better now. Good, good. Awesome. So let's see. Also, I think I'm better at responding in the chat. Last time I didn't saw the messages until, like later, and it was a little bit weird, but now I managed a way where I can see the chat while doing the research and everything. It's a little bit, I'm getting the hang of it. So, with that being said, let's start the research. Good. Let's just look again into some Google research. And last time, I know that some articles that we just checked, um, they already delivered us to some academic papers that were interesting to see. So I'm just going to go into the papers and then jotting down what the papers are and what conclusions are we getting from those papers from the articles that we read the last time. And if you don't know the articles, you can go back into my last video to see those articles and see what they were on about. I am making these videos mainly for you to understand how I'm doing the research for my videos, and also to help anybody else or like entertain anybody else that likes to go into rabbit holes of researches. So let's get started. So let's see, is ADHD overdiagnosed? Yeah, I accept everything. Yeah, I remember that we were into this first. So let's check the papers that they said that they cited on this article. So, first one, we have this one. ADHD diagnosis stress, increased recognition or overdiagnosis. So let's just copy this and I'm going to paste it into my Notion. Let me just show you my Notion. Oh, can you see it very well? I don't know if you can see it actually. Let me just get it a little better. Okay. Maybe there. Hopefully. All right, all right. So now what I'm gonna do is just paste it in and check all the diagnoses that we have. So this is one, and then we can see like write conclusions, and we can go off. Let me just write the other papers that we want to revisit. Attention deficit. Well, this is the definition, it seems. In brief, what is overdiagnosis? Definition, we don't need that. Overdiagnosis in primary care, framing the problem and finding solutions, but this is in general. Okay, so overdiagnosis, okay, this is more of like an statistical research, so this could be interesting to also check. Conclusions. Good. And then we have well, this is one that is about Japan, about the biases that there is in Japan. And I think it could be interesting to read. So we have another perspective from another country. So I'm just going to go into this first one and see. Let's check what it is. Let's see. Let me just show you. Hey, Bane, nice to see you again. Good. So let's see. ADHD diagnostic track, increased recognition or overdiagnosis? Let's check it out. The prevalence of attention deficit hyperactivity. Okay, this is pretty much what it's about. A case study. Okay, paying attention, but fairly well in high school. Lately, she has been feeling more anxious because of her studies. Okay, they are presenting us with a case. She finds herself constantly procrastinating, regularly feeling guilty about the inability to adhere to deadlines. Problem sets are riddled with careless errors, and papers contain numerous typos and grammatical errors. Sometimes, especially, sorry, after doing poorly on an exam, guilt and anxiety about school become so high that she simply shuts down and avoids doing any work for the rest of the day. She has seen a lot of ADHD content on TikTok and recently wonders if she may have ADHD herself. Her college friend has offered her Adderall, and while she hasn't taken it without the prescription, she wonders if she may benefit from it. Okay, so a case study. I'm wondering why they are putting this particular case study. Okay, they are explaining in here what it is, the changes that we have seen, specifically about like a resemblance with ODD. Okay. Yeah, they are mentioning, yeah, we went through this the last time that the DSM-5 changed the diagnosis criteria for autism and ADHD and allowed to introduce a lot more people that needed the diagnosis that were underdiagnosed. But now we are questioning if it's allowing to also overdiagnose some people. But I want to see, increased awareness, increased prevalence. This is what we are wanted to see. I wanted to see if it shows that it is actually increasing in an unnatural rate rather than, oh, okay, now we're introducing more people, so it's totally normal that it has increased a little, or is it increasing exponentially and in an unreasonable way? Outside of simply diagnostic changes, studies have provided other explanations for the rise in ADHD, including increased awareness and familiarity of Wait a second, just give me a second. Including increased awareness and familiarity of physicians and the public with the diagnosis, geographic location, and cultural differences, as well as other public health related factors such as improved access to care. ADHD has even earned its own awareness month as of October of 2004. A quick search on Google Trends shows a steady increase in ADHD related searches throughout the years, with popularity in March of 2022 at the highest it has ever been. Google search for trends terms ADHD from 2004 to present. Opening a new tab. Yes, I want to check it. Let's see this. Let's see this trend. Ah. Okay. Are you seeing it? Because I'm not. Aha. Okay. April 2021. It shows an increase. I wonder how it is now. Let's just check Google Trends. Okay, let's see. Let's look for ADHD. I just normal. Okay. Now in Spain, no. I wanted worldwide. Last 2024 today. Okay, it kept increasing. So as of February 2025, it keeps increasing. Like the boom was around around COVID time. That's funny. In 2020, like we start seeing an increase in searches that keeps on going. Like on 2025, and there's no expectation. Like it went down a little bit in December and also in July. But I think that those are collectively like low internet month. Yes, December and July, December, July, December, July. That's interesting, an interesting pattern where we can absolutely see an increase in the lookout for the word ADHD, and that is constantly increasing. And also, if you want to check it, that in Switzerland, it's going the hardest. Like they are researching ADHD very, very high. And one of the list, wait, ones that search it is Russia. I'm not sure if, I mean, I'm totally ignorant in this topic, but since Russia, I think they have their own browsers and stuff like that. It goes down where people don't have to study. Yeah, it might be. Because on December and July, they are like way and they don't need to learn about ADHD. They're just having a good time. That can be too. Absolutely. Well, let's go away from this tangent. I just wanted to see if it kept increasing from till today, and it keeps increasing. So we can conclude that ADHD conclusions. ADHD is a popular trend. Oh, wait, let me show you what I'm writing. Sorry. There. ADHD is a popular trend. Well, a popular topic that constantly is, well, that is increasing in Google search trends since 2020. Like, because it was going constant till 2024 until 2029 or 2019, but in 2020 it started increasing until today, and today it keeps increasing the number of searches that have been going on Google, and we can conclude that it is a popular topic that it keeps increasing in popularity to this day. So that's a very interesting thing to take into awareness. So let's go back um to the study to see what else we can gather from it. Okay. ADHD and undertreatment. While there's a concern from rising ADHD diagnosis, a U.S. national survey reported in 26 that only 11 of adults with ADHD were being treated for it. This is critical as deficit in organization and time management can lead to major educational, professional, or financial problems. Financial problems, sorry. Let me take some water. Yeah, here are portraying the problems that one might have with ADHD. That is, higher unemployment rates, lower income, interpersonal implications, major interpersonal implications, higher rates of divorce, etc. So basically, they are stating that before the DSM-5, there was a concern of underdiagnosing ADHD people. Yeah, they are saying here that the diagnosis in boys is higher than the diagnosis in girls, which we understand now that is because, oh, surprise, surprise, we don't have the same symptoms as men do. And they're saying that because of that they show that probably there are many groups that were underdiagnosed before the DSM-5. So they said that the diagnosis is, well, the diagnosis, sorry, that the conclusion is ADHD is not a new phenomenon. However, its prevalence have increased significantly in the recent years, giving changing diagnostic criteria and increasing awareness of the disorder in marginalized populations, especially individuals of color and females. Yeah, this finding is not surprising. I'm going to just copy this and put it there. Hell yeah. And the general public has become increasingly more aware of ADHD through the media and social media. People are more likely to bring it up to their concerns to a physician, which in turn may prompt more numbers of people to be diagnosed. While some may argue that the increase is concerning and due to intentional finding of symptoms in order to gain access to stimulant medication or test accommodations, the evidence suggests this group have a negligent impact on diagnosing trends. Okay, the evidence suggests these groups have a negligibly impact on diagnostic trends. Good. So that's what I wanted to see. Also, well, this study is from 2022, which is okay. This study is from 2021, and this one is evenly older. I'm probably going to go first with the Japanese one because it interests me, as I know nothing about how ADHD is being treated in Japan. But let me just finish this. In fact, as medical providers focus on the idea of overdiagnosis, may instead be helpful create additional barriers to care and add to the stigma towards their request for help. It is important instead to approach patients holistically and with understanding of both the risk of treatment and under treatment in mind. For those who have been struggling with unrecognized ADHD, there are significant impacts to mental health, social life, and work life. Throughout diagnosis and subsequent treatment can make all the difference. Preach. So pretty much this case study just suggests what I was pretty much thinking, that there's not really an overdiagnosis of ADHD, that there's just an increase of awareness, and that's why many people are going to their physicians to get treated because they are concerned for their symptoms, and that's absolutely fantastic. So now, I want to go to the next study, that is this one of Japan, just out of curiosity. Let me take it. Okay, biases in understanding attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, and autism spectrum disorder in Japan. Great. So let's see. I'm really interested to know what are the differences. Yeah, recent research has shown high rates of comorbidity between ADHD and autism. Yes. Yeah. In fact, I have a theory that they're probably going to just join them in a future DSM because the symptoms are very very similar in some cases, and it's probably like one disorder that has like different um symptomatology. Like for example, that as autism is a disorder, is a spectrum, sorry, it's gonna be shown that some people are more hyper, some people are more distracted, some people, but it's mainly out of the same disorder that is autism spectrum. So unlike Western countries, the Japanese ADHD prevalence is lower relative to the ASE. Okay. The inconsistencies have occurred for cultural diversities among professionals such as physicians. However, little is known about attitudes toward ADHD and ASD in non-Western cultural contexts. They conducted two experiments, okay. They conducted two experiments. In study one, we examined attitudes towards these disorders in medical doctors and mental health professionals using a web based questionnaire. Okay, interesting. And in the second study, medical doctors and clinical psychologists assessed four fictional cases based on criteria for ADHD, ASD, oppositional defiant disorder, and disinhibited social engagement disorder. Okay. The diagnosis of ASD was considered more difficult relative to that of ADHD. Most participants assessed the fictional DSED case as ASD rather than DSED or ADHD. Results provide evidence that Japanese professionals are more likely to attribute children's behavior and problems to ASD relative to other disorders. Therefore, Japanese therapists could be more sensitive to and likely to diagnose ASD relative to therapists in other countries. These findings suggest that the cultural bias could influence clinicians' diagnosis of ADHD and ASD. So basically, they made two questionnaires and they asked clinicians to diagnose. Oh, thank you. Somebody brought me tea. Somebody brought me tea. Yum, yum. So, in the first study, we sought to determine whether ADHD and ASD were regarded as distinct disorders and explored participants' understanding of the similarities and difference between them. Okay, the questionnaire. They basically made questionnaires and asked the participants, well, the doctors, to use them. Hmm. The results. Okay. I was just learning what the questions were. So basically, they were asking. The first one was pretty simple. Like, hey, ADHD and autism, are they the same? Is there any difference? Yes, no, why? That's it. Well, I don't think they even asked why. It was more like uh, just a quick test, of an option test. I don't know what it's called in English. The one that you have like multiple responses and just one is correct so that you can check. Okay, the participants, timer one. Okay. Response category different. Appearances or characteristics differ. Like, okay. Okay, the percentage of people that said that appearances or characteristics differ were 23%, interversions differ 22%, brain activity differ just 10%, other by elimination 6%. So there's not a high number of Japanese physicians that think that ASD and ADHD are different. Individual support is required despite diagnosis. They don't think they require. Okay, interesting. High comorbidity rate, little. Lack of evidence that distinguishes between the disorders. Wow. They have something in common. Differentiation unnecessary. Both involve developmental imbalances. 6%. Okay, data for 30 participants. Okay, so they are just qualifying. I don't understand. Okay, so we are seeing all the questions and answers of this. Oof. Okay. Okay, the results show that they focused more on the characteristics of ASD: difficulty understanding, nonverbal information or situation, problem comparability with other, poor flexibility, difficulty in communication, and deviation of interest or concern. Relative symptoms to such as ADHD related inattention, impulsivity, or hyperactivity when considered the psychological similarities with ADHD and ASD. Furthermore, participants referred to ASD more frequently than ADHD in the free descriptions of psychological difference between ADHD and ASD. These results are consistent with our hypothesis that participants would focus on non-verbal communication skills. So basically, they don't have as much problem as diagnosing ASD rather than ADHD, and they don't diagnose ADHD as often, is what I'm understanding. It was natural to expect that particular focus on ADHD related would be strong as that on ASD related characteristics. Yeah, they focus more on autism characteristics. So it is easier in Japan to be diagnosed of autism than to ADHD, which is interesting. I think that they normalize ADHD way more. I mean, the cultural in Japan is kind of crazy around, for example, productivity and professional life, like work life balance. It's kind of crazy. So I understand why you would have to have big symptoms to being able to get diagnosed there. Okay. They are pointing the discussion. Oof. I'm having a hard time understanding what they concluded. Okay, the results study showing consistencies and biases understanding regarding ADHD and ADHD disorder have performed psychological assessments in the Japanese population. Okay, yeah, almost half of the participants in study one understood that ADHD and ASD are distinct disorders. However, the remaining participants did not. Yeah. In addition, participants in study 1 focused more strongly in ASD relative to ADHD. Moreover, based the results of study 2, mental health professionals could exhibit a tendency towards confusing DSED with ASD. Okay, interesting. In Japan, as children with any type of mental health disorder are almost equally eligible to receive welfare, medical, and educational services, mental disability certificates for provision of financial aid. So that might be one reason why they look for it. I'm going to put this. Wait, let me show you. Taking notes. So turn into a bulleted list. And this too. Turn into a. Turn into a bulleted list. All right. And let's go back to the study. Okay, yeah. Basically, the conclusion is that they, um, in Japan, they see symptoms with either DSED, ADHD, or ASD, and or even ODD, and they would be like, "Yep, autism." Boom, yeah, bye. And or well, they're more likely to just see those and diagnose autism rather than diagnose anything else, which is interesting and definitely is a curious thought about the chance that our culture is the one that is creating um the need to see this diagnosis, or is their culture the one that is wrong. That's a discussion that people can have, that are we wrong into looking into all of this diagnosis and disorders, or should we just put them all into something and let's call it the same and treat them the same, which probably it's not the solution, but some might say that it would be better and easier for the clinician to treat. I don't know. What are your thoughts about this? Let me know. I think that for today this is as good as it's going to get. I hope that you had fun. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. I'm going to leave you a little moment to ask if you have any questions. And if not, I'm just going to go. Is it interesting? Very interesting to see how other culture manages um mental health issues. you. Awesome. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. I will see you again next Tuesday, same time, 5 p.m. Spain, 5 p.m. Spain time. And I hope to see you there. Let me know if you have any topics that you're interested in. And I hope you have a good time. Bye bye.